Good evening, everybody. Welcome into this week's edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coet. Right now, there are a lot of reasons for residents here in Milford to be excited about the world of sports. Of course, we are just a week away from the New England Patriots taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51, the 7th Super Bowl appearance for the Pats since 2001. There are also a lot of local sports that are generating excitement throughout the community. We'll tell you a little bit about that, as well as the rest of what we have coming up tonight as we present our top stories rundown. Tonight, see why one Milford student received a pair of citations at this week's Milford Board of Selectmen meeting. Also tonight, we'll show you how one of Milford High School's wrestling captains accomplished a career milestone at this week's meet against Stoughton. And of course, we'll recap the week in MHS basketball, including girls' highlights against Sharon and boys' highlights against Oliver Ames. It was a jam-packed agenda for the Milford Board of Selectmen this week. Monday's meeting lasted nearly 3 hours as the board went over a host of issues. One of the items on this week's agenda included a pair of citations, which were awarded to a young Milford student who was recognized as part of a statewide essay contest.
We have citations, and the citations specifically are a result of the essays sponsored by the VFW. And tonight we have Natalie DeCunha from 6th grade middle school, who's the winner of the Patriots Pen Award for her essay, I Believe, or The America I Believe In. We also have a citation for Reagan McGrath from grade 10, but she's not here tonight. And we also have Commander who will present and open up the discussion. Commander Pitak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I'd like to thank the Milford Board of Selectmen for backing up all of the programs of the Milford VFW over the years. Without you guys giving us the permits and everything else that we need to continue our work, we wouldn't have any.
Before we get to Natalie, I just want to say I appreciate your thanks. And I know I can speak for this board that it's with great honor that we support your programs. If not for what the veterans have done for this country, we wouldn't be sitting here, and it may be an entirely different scenario over the years. So we appreciate the defense of this country and the things that veterans have forfeited over the years from their lives to make sure that our country remains free and safe.
I'm humbled by that. Now, without further ado, after all that's over, I would like to introduce Natalie DeCunha, who was our Patriots Pen winner, and she also won District 8, and last night at the Doubletree she was honored by being judged at the state level. She didn't win, but I'll tell you something. With the hundreds and hundreds of entries that came in from the schools around the state, there were only 10 up there, and she was one of them. That's quite an accomplishment.
Natalie, if we could hear from you, can you tell us a little bit about your essay?
So I chose the topic unity, and Miss Monahan, my language arts teacher, included the essay contest in the theme of the writing we were doing, and it was optional to enter. And so I decided to enter to see how it was going to go.
Good for you. And since then, you've been to the regional and states. What's the experience been like with so many people that have submitted applications?
It was exciting. I didn't know how far I was going to make it.
Right.
And I was surprised that I made it all the way to states.
Well, we know that You've made your family proud. You've also made a community very proud of your accomplishments here, and we want to thank you. We also have a citation that I'll come around the table to give to you, but I do want to read from it. The citation is from the Board of Selectmen, myself and my colleagues, and it says specifically, the town of Milford, be it known that the Board of Selectmen hereby offer the congratulations to Natalie DeCunha in recognition of receiving the Patriots Pen Award for your essay, The America I Believe In. On behalf of the people of Milford, The selectmen extend their very best wishes and express the hope for good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. And we know you'll continue to make this community proud. And this is from myself, Brian Murray, and William Kincaid, my colleagues.
It just so happens that, as a member of the Board of Selectmen, I'm also a state representative, so I too have a citation for you, which I'd like to present to you. And, before I do that, let me just reiterate what the chairman indicated and thank Commander Petak, for your work and the entire VFW in sponsoring these essay contests. You've been doing it now a few years, and it's remarkable that your generation has just given to this country so often over the years as a younger person, and now as an elder, you're guiding the young people of today towards community involvement. And for young people like Natalie to get involved in a contest like this, those are the kind of young people not only that we want, but we need in this country today. Natalie, I said this when I was at the senior center. Congratulations to you for your fine work, but also congratulations to your family for providing the support that they do to help you go on and do this, and also your educators at Milford at the Milford school system. I think we're very fortunate in Milford to have some very dedicated and professional teachers who really go above and beyond, and I hope not only you, but really all of the kids in this town take advantage of that and grow to your fullest potential. So with that, let me try to we'll do the dueling citations. This is a little new for me, so bear with me a second here. This is a citation from the Massachusetts House of Representatives.
It's funny.
Be it known that the Mass House of Representatives offer its sincerest congratulations to Natalie DeCuna in recognition of winning the Patriots Pen Essay Contest sponsored by the Robert C. Frescotti Post 1544 VFW. Given this 23rd day of January 2017 from the State House in Boston, signed Robert A. DeLeo, Speaker of the House, and offered by Brian W. Murray, State Representative. So, give me this.
It's turned out to be a bit of a rebuilding season for the Milford wrestling team. Overall, the team has struggled to produce victories in their tough Hockomock League schedule, but there have been several individual wrestlers who have been enjoying success throughout the year. One of those individuals, senior captain Ryan Gray, accomplished a unique milestone during the Hawks' meet against Stoughton earlier this week.
That one was actually my 100th career varsity. That's awesome. Yeah, so that's like a big landmark. I put it almost half a step below a state championship, where a lot of guys, that's something that's been on my mind for a couple of years now. And a lot of where I was at this summer, with everything that happened, there was a big part of me that wasn't sure I'd even be able to get back onto the mat. So to even, come back from that, I think is nothing short of just, it's just a huge thing for me, and come back and be able to have the season I'm having, and get to that landmark that was for me. I think that's pretty huge. As far as the team goes, it's definitely a rebuilding year. I see a lot of potential in a lot of these guys, a lot of the freshmen, sophomores that can come back a couple years down the road. I think can really make a difference. But as of right now, it's a tough thing to go through, especially as a senior, where we were winning so much in my earlier years. But right now, I'm not necessarily discouraged with where the team's at. I can definitely see myself coming back, helping in a practice a couple years down the road, and we're right back to where we were. States, they're coming up fast. They're a couple weeks down the road. But I mean, it's baby steps. It's Hockomock League, which I'm really looking forward to hopefully winning. Sectionals, which is another thing I can definitely see myself taking the first at that. And then states is another battle. All states, New England. So I'm trying to do it step by step. Tonight was the next step. Then this weekend, and it's match by match for me. But I know me and Brett, who we've been working our butts off all summer. We were going to the same club all summer. We definitely have big hopes for this season.
With still roughly half the season to go, it's looking more and more likely we'll be seeing playoff basketball out of both of Milford's teams. The girls took a 7-2 overall record into last Friday night's matchup with Davenport foe Sharon. Let's take you inside the Milford gym for a recap of the action. Sharon head coach Cliff Tomajian was confident team defense would be one of the main strengths of his roster heading into this season. However, the Lady Eagles entered Friday night's game against Milford, allowing a league-high 57 points per game. Could the Lady Hawks take advantage of Sharon's defensive woes? Early on in the first quarter, both defenses continued to exchange turnovers. Twice within the first 2 minutes of play, we saw the Lady Hawks pull off a steal, only to see the Lady Eagles take control right back. The second of Sharon's early turnovers would end up resulting in the first points of the night, as here sophomore star Emma Eberhardt would get a wide-open look from three-point range, and she would bury the shot. Sharon's star player would shine brightly through the first quarter, collecting 8 total points over the game's first 8 minutes. Milford would provide a more diverse offensive punch in the period. First, it's scoring leader Kate Irwin, who sneaks away from the defense and knocks down the three. Then Captain Jill Burley quickly pulls the feet behind the arc, and she drains the long-range shot. Later on, it's fellow captain Christine Pye, who also would get in on the three-party to put Milford on top by 7. In total, 5 different players would chip in on the offensive side of the floor to give Milford a 17-10 lead. Both offenses would remain relatively quiet for the early part of the second quarter. Here, Sharon's Allie Brown would bank home a long 2 to bring the Eagles' deficit down to 7, but then watch Milford's transition offense go to work. They quickly push the ball ahead to Nicole Dahlgren, who is able to release the shot before the defense can close in. Just seconds later, watch this sequence from Dahlgren. She intercepts the Sharon pass at center court and then brings the ball up the floor. Dahlgren dishes a pass off to Emily Pierre-Gustavo, but then gets it right back and nails the 3 to place the Milford lead at 12. Sharon would rattle off the final 5 points of the first half, sending the teams into the locker room with Milford up 26-19. In the opening minute of the second half, Sharon would make it 7 straight points as Veronica Wallace generates another turnover and then accelerates up the floor and comes through with the layup that would cut it to a 2-possession game. Milford would have opportunities to extend the lead as the third quarter went on, but they would fail to convert on several wide-open looks. The Lady Hawks would score just 9 points in the quarter, with 4 of them coming courtesy of superb free throw shooting from Emma Liskov. Emma would go 4 for 4 from the line in the third and would connect on her first 7 free throws on the night. Free throws would end up being a major factor for Milford, as 10 of their 22 points in the second half would be scored at the charity stripe. It would be an improved defensive effort for Sharon, but Milford's D would hold their opponent to less than 40 points for the 6th time on the season. It all added up to another victory for the Lady Hawks as they went on to defeat Sharon by a final score of 48-37. The girls' basketball team went back to work on the road this past Tuesday, taking on Oliver Ames. The Lady Hawks' offense was held to just 18 first-half points, allowing the Lady Tigers to build up a 12-point lead. The frustration continued through the second half, and in the end, OA was able to defeat Milford by a final score of 58-42. It was the most points the girls have allowed in a single game all season. Meanwhile, the Milford and Oliver Ames boys teams clashed in the Milford gym on Tuesday night. Over the years, the matchups between these two programs have been spirited, to say the least. Once again, there was plenty of emotion and intensity on the floor during Tuesday's game. Here are the full highlights. The atmosphere in the Milford gym was electric on Tuesday night as Milford welcomed in their former division rival Oliver Ames. Despite their laid-back beach attire, the Milford student section was amped up and ready to cheer on their home team. The mood in the gym quickly translated into a ferocious pace in the first quarter. Just over a minute in, Oliver Ames would give Milford a taste of their outside shooting ability as Jack Spillane would drain a deep three-pointer. On Milford's ensuing possession, Alex Masick would track down this tipped ball before sending a long pass to Anthony Arcudi. Arcudi would release the shot with a hand in his face, but the ball would rattle home to tie the game. After Milford forced a turnover off the OA inbounds pass, Zach Tamani would hit Shane Cosquet with a quick pass in the corner, and Cosquet would make it back-to-back threes to push the Hawks in front 6-3. Now watch Zach Tamani here. Off the Tigers' miss, he gets the ball in his hands and powers his way up the floor, splitting two defenders on his way to the basket, establishing a 5-point Milford advantage. Oliver Ames would start to turn momentum in their favor from there, however. First, it's the big man, Carter Evan, who manages to outwork Caden Kelly for the rebound and gets the putback and the foul. Then it's senior Nick Welsh who gets the friendly bounce off the rim and the backboard off the three-point attempt to quickly give the visitors the lead. After facing an early 8-3 deficit, Oliver Ames would finish off the first quarter on a 15-4 run to jump ahead 18-12. OA's outside shooting would continue to be a problem for Milford in the second quarter. Here it's Spillane again who drops in the three from way behind the line. Then right on the heels of a Zach Tomorrow three, Spillane drains one from the other side of the floor to keep the Tigers' lead at 9. With Milford struggling to keep pace, they would get a much-needed boost from Nate Davila off the bench as he hits the three to cut it to a two-possession game. But again, the Tigers would have the answer as Carter Evan would prove he's more than just an inside presence, landing the perimeter shot to make it a 29-22 lead for OA. As the second quarter wore on, we'd start to see emotions run hot on the floor. Watch this sequence here as Alex Masick gets tangled up with junior Matt Muir under the basket. On the trip up the floor, Muir gives Masick a little shove, and after the blocked shot by Caden Kelly, Masick and Muir go at it again, with Muir ending up on his back and Masick ending up with the technical foul. This would not be the last time we'd see tempers flare out on the court.
They bring it inside for Evan. Now the ball swatted loose, and Cosquet will just hold on to it as the rest of the clock winds down. That will do it for the first half. And a little bit of chippiness as the two teams leave the floor. Athletic Director Peter Boucher and also Oliver Ames head coach Don Byron out on the floor. And Coach Byron is hot right now as he goes over now towards the officials. Coach Seaver also hot, so the emotions starting to boil over.
Coming back from the half, the question would be which team would do a better job of channeling their emotions into their play on the floor. A minute into the third quarter, Zach Tamani would sink just his first three-pointer of the game, cutting the Milford deficit to 4 points. But Milford could not seem to get into a consistent rhythm with their outside shooting, missing on a series of quality looks throughout the game. The defense would also struggle against the diverse offensive attack of Oliver Ames, leading to a 14-7 Tiger run to end the third quarter, placing Milford in an 11-point hole. As Milford continued to struggle with their shooting, they would also start to struggle to keep their composure. Here, after Shane Cosquet is called for the reach-in foul, he swats the ball out of Matt Muir's hands in frustration, and he would get called for Milford's second technical foul of the night. The one bright spot for Milford in the fourth quarter would be the play of sophomore Brendan White. White would continue to aggressively attack the basket, leading to a string of trips to the free throw line that would see White go a perfect 10 for 10. The sophomore would log a new career-best 14 points on the night. The Hawks would score 20 points as a team in the fourth quarter, their best period of the game, but it would not be enough. Milford loses a very hard-fought game to Oliver Ames by a final score of 61-56. Both teams hope to climb back into the win column tonight. Both teams are taking on their counterparts from Attleboro High School, with the boys on the road and the girls at home. We are in the Milford gym as we speak, covering what should be a major test for the Lady Hawks against a Lady Bombardiers team that is averaging more than 63 points per game. Make sure you keep an eye out for our full game coverage on the educational channel and on YouTube, and we'll have highlights from that game as part of our weekly sports recap here on The Informer next Friday night. And now let's get to this week's upcoming events. Coming up next Friday, jumpstart your weekend of rooting on the Pats at the Ruth Ann Bleakney Senior Center as they host a Super Bowl pep rally. The afternoon will include a game day spread of barbecue pulled pork, homemade mac and cheese, and chips and salsa. There will also be dancing, sports trivia, and entertainment provided by DJ Ronnie Ozier. The Super Bowl pep rally will kick off at 12:30 p.m. on Friday, February 3rd at the Senior Center. Tickets to the event are $5 and will be available at the door. On February 2nd, Heartsong Spiritual Wellness will be holding a seminar titled Speak Like a Pro. The seminar will teach the necessary skills to engage audiences and make more of an impact when delivering a presentation. The seminar will be led by presentation skills expert and Heartsong director Jackie Rose. The Speak Like a Pro seminar is happening on Thursday, February 2nd, over at Heartsong Spiritual Wellness, located inside the First Unitarian Universalist Church on Pine Street in Milford from 7 to 8:30 p.m. For more information, log on to their website at heartsongspiritualwellness.com. And coming up on February 12th, the Milford Lions Club will be holding their third annual Father-Daughter Dance. Young ladies from preschool to grade 5, along with their dads, are cordially invited to attend. The evening will include entertainment by DJ Mike Rutkowski, along with refreshments as well as door prizes. The Father-Daughter Dance will take place on Sunday, February 12th at the Milford High School cafeteria from 5 to 7 p.m. Tickets are $20 per dad and will be available at the door. This coming Wednesday is National Football Signing Day. In conjunction with this nationwide event, Milford High School will be holding a ceremony featuring several students signing their college letters of intent. You can expect highlights from the ceremony as well as interviews with the students next week here on the Milford Informer. We hope you will join us next week. Until then, from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.